Let's talk about the pros and cons of a real estate auction. My name is Andy Elliott. I work with DeSelms Real Estate here in Williamson County, Tennessee, and we serve the Nashville area. If you'd like to stay in touch, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell so you don't miss anything. At the end of this video, I'm going to talk about what houses qualify for an auction. Now let's start with the pros and cons for buyers. When it comes to selling your home, you got a ton of options. And to be clear, I'm not promoting real estate auctions per se, just breaking down the pros and cons. What draws people to an auction is the chance to get a house or a piece of land at a good price. The idea of buying low, fixing up and selling, or moving into a piece of property is the fuel that feeds the auction engine. All of us want a good deal, and an auction provides that opportunity. So, pro number one, getting a good price. Don't think for a second that real estate auctions are only about distressed properties. Consider this. Some of the finest art in the world and some of the coolest cars on the planet are sold by auction. Somewhere along the line, real estate and auction got mixed in with foreclosure and desperate sellers. And now some people equate auctions with distressed and desperate. That's just not the case. There's a ton of really nice homes that get auctioned off every week for a variety of reasons. So pro number two, you can get a great place. Although the house is sold as is, the buyer has the right of inspection before sale day. Due diligence is where you get to check out the house as much as you need so that there's no surprises. With due diligence complete, you can bid with confidence. So pro number three, due diligence. You can check out the house as much as you want. Another major benefit is the buyer determines the price. If you know going in how much you can spend, you can stop the process anytime the bid goes over your maximum. And if you want, if you see the value, you can win the bid for as little as $500 or $1,000 at the last second. So pro number four, the buyer absolutely controls the price. Unlike a traditional sale, once you win the bid, it's over. No negotiations, no haggling. Plus, you'll know the closing date. No extensions, no messing around. Something I like to call one and done. Purchase price and closing day set. Pro number five, one and done. There's one other point I'd like to make, and it's called validation. If you've got 2 or 3 people that are all bidding in the same range for the same place, you can be pretty comfortable you're not overpaying for it. Maybe it's just me, but I figure there's others that don't want to overpay for stuff either. So point number 6, lightly, is validation. Let's talk about the cons for a buyer. We were talking about overpaying just a second ago, and I call this auction action. If you get too caught up in the auction action and you start bidding against the other guy instead of for the house, you might find yourself in trouble. I had one gentleman tell me he brings a trusted friend to help him snap out of it in case he starts going crazy. Sounds like a decent idea to me. So con number one, getting caught up in the bidding. This con is actually on my pro list as well. It's due diligence. Just be aware that once you win the bid, due diligence is over. No more inspections. That ship has sailed. No exit ramp, no turning back. It's over. So con number 2, due diligence. Be thorough with your inspections. Finally, you're going to pay a buyer premium. When you win the bid, you're going to pay a certain percentage over and above the purchase price on sale day. That's a buyer premium. If you fail to close for any reason, you're going to lose that premium. So if you know that going in, you're good. So con number 3, buyer premium and possibly forfeiting that. Let's talk about the pros and cons for sellers, starting with the pros. Number 1, the sale is fast. And number 2, the home is sold as is. Number 3, the buyer's on a substantial financial hook immediately. In a traditional sale, you prepare the home for sale, you list it for sale, you have any number of showings, you have an open house or 2, you get an offer, you fight for your price, you have the inspection, you fight for the repairs they think that needs to be done, and then while you're waiting for it to close, the buyer's financing can fall through at any time for any reason, and you get nothing. With a real estate auction, you have none of that. So let's sum up what we have so far real quick. The home sells fast, there's no negotiations, there's no inspections or repairs. The buyer is obligated, and if the buyer backs out, they lose their premium, of which the seller gets some of that, and that can be substantial. I had one auctioneer tell me in confidence that he wished more buyers would walk away. But the fact is they just don't, for pretty obvious reasons. The very nature of an auction is competition. Buyer competition brings a higher price. You've certainly heard of multiple offer situations in a traditional sale and how it motivates buyers. Well, an auction's basically a multiple offer situation in public. It's in your face. There's no secrets. 500, 505, 510, 515, 520, 550,000. Come on! Talk about motivation. So let's talk about cons for the seller. And I can really only think of one, and that's uncertainty. When you start thinking about an auction in the beginning, you'll have an auctioneer come to the house and they're going to give you a projected price range. And usually that price range goes from, oh, I can't hang with that, to that's freaking awesome. But you have a protectionary device to keep you away from the worst of it, and that's called a reserve pricing. Reserve pricing is a minimum threshold that you can set that you won't accept anything less than that. But you can actually change that on sale day. Let me give you an example. Let's say that you want 600, that's what you really want. But on sale day, the best offer in there is $595. You can let the auctioneer know in some way that $595 is acceptable. You've sold the house and you're all done with it. Reserve pricing. Let's talk about what homes actually qualify for an auction. First, there's move-in ready luxury homes. Those qualify for auction. Homes of any price range that needs a lot of updating, those homes qualify. And properties that just won't sell on the regular MLS for some reason, those homes qualify. But what really qualifies for an auction is a seller. If you just don't like the negotiation process, the sale process, all of that, you'd rather have it one and done. I've used that phrase a ton. If that's what you like, an auction might just be a perfect fit for you. I recommend you talk to your realtor, see what they say, talk to an auctioneer, see what they say. You'll find which way is best for you. Be sure to watch my other videos on my channel. There's a ton of them in there. If you'd like to stay in touch, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell so you don't miss anything. Leave a comment and give me a like, will you? Talk to you soon.